Welcome back to another video. Today we are testing FSD 14.3.4 and software update 2026.14.6.12. Still looking out for the next software update for FSD, which is for early access users right now, 14.3.5. Hopefully we'll get that soon. But I wanted to test this out with a little bit of city parallel parking. In previous versions, we've had troubles with the parallel parking, but I want to see, how we're doing on that parallel parking, because it's been a little bit questionable, inconsistent, at least, if nothing else. So see if we got any updates there. So one of the things that they did add on the latest software update was the ability to see the in-cabin cameras when you're driving, which is interesting. So you could see the camera preview while you're driving or while FSD is on. So that'll be a nice thing to actually, even for this parallel parking and everything, I'll be able to get better views of all the different areas where it's going to be. So hopefully we're going to get that update soon. As far as I know, there haven't been really any complaints about how 14.3.5 is going. Also, definitely have to take it out for some of the other tests that we typically do, just to see how it's progressing. We did have just did the thin chain test. So FSD has been progressing a little bit better and better, especially since the hardware 3 days, and that could be related to the cameras. I'm really interested to see how it does, but it's progressed a little bit more and more on the thin chain test. So like when there's a chain in front of you, so it's blocking street or whatever it may be, a parking space, something like that. It's sometimes very difficult for the car to see, and in past versions FSD has not responded to it at all, and then it started responding to it a little bit, slowing down and stuff, but would still hit it. And this last time I was not able to get it to actually hit any of those chains. So I would like to take it out at different times of the day and stuff to do that, because obviously certain times of the day it's going to be more visible versus less visible. So something to check out on that front. But it's really getting down to the edge cases at this point, because FSD has been very good recently, especially with 14.3.4. It's very good. Now I am about to take it on a road trip, and the latest complaint I had with the past versions has been with the speed profiles and it not knowing sometimes what the actual speed limit is. It will be a constant struggle to switch between the speed profiles between Sloth and all the way up to Mad Max, depending on whether it has the speed correct, because it'll often say in a 55, like if you have it on standard, it'll be going 60 to 65 or whatever, the flow with traffic pretty much. And then if the speed limit changes, sometimes it just won't react to that, so it'll just continue on at the same speed. Or if you're going 72 miles per hour in a 70 mile per hour, 65 mile per hour zone, and then there's like a work zone and it's 55, it will sometimes just completely ignore that work zone speed and just continue to drive too fast. So definitely going to keep you updated on that, whether we have any progress in that regard. I still think that's down to map data and navigation, but they definitely could get a lot more feedback for that if they were to bring back max speed and that sort of thing to the user, because right now I can just say speed profile and it basically just arbitrarily decides how fast it wants to go based on that speed profile. Now, sloth and chill typically are just 2 over. So right now we're in a 30 mile per hour zone. So if I go to let's see, sloth, it should stay at 30. It should max it out at 30. Chill should be about 2 over. So we'll see if it it goes up to 32. So that seems pretty predictable. As long as it actually knows what speed it is, it's pretty predictable. Standard pretty much just goes with the flow. So it just kind of goes, I mean, sometimes it feels like it's 5 miles per hour over, but other times, like I said, if you're just on the interstate and it's a 55 mile per hour zone, but everybody's going 70, it's going to go close to 70 as well, even in standard. So that's again where it would be really nice not to have just the profiles, but to have a maximum speed, because just because everybody else is going that speed doesn't mean I want to. And then sometimes when everybody else slows down, or maybe nobody else is around you anymore because they've exited or whatever, and you're the only one going 15 over, suddenly you're definitely a prime target for getting pulled over and getting a ticket. So that's no good. Definitely need the max speed back. But it doesn't feel like we're going to get it. So if we're not going to get it, then these profiles are going to have to get better at determining the correct speed for the situation. All right, we have pedestrian, and this person is just stopped. Yes. Wow. I mean, I wasn't totally sure if they were just like actually stopped or they just had braked a little bit for something, but FSD picked it up immediately. All right, so first stop here, I'm just going to try to do some parallel parking on this next street here. There's a bunch of parking spaces all over the place here that we could park, but I just want to see how well it actually gets into a parallel parking space. Okay, so no challenge in this case because it just decided to drive nose in. And we can pull up the camera and it's reasonably close to the curb. However, yeah, I mean, we're okay. We're a little bit further back in the space than I probably would have anyway, but we are within the space. So not too bad of a job overall, actually. All right, so then we'll continue on. Now the next one says parking lot for some reason, but it should be street. So we'll switch it to street. Start this next one here. Should go around the block. We've got our turn signal on, but not going. And okay, so this is awkward. It's in drive. It probably could go in reverse a little bit before. Okay, I just tapped the accelerator there and then it put it in reverse and then drive. So I don't know what the hesitation was there. It just seemed like it just didn't want to go for some reason. But whatever the case may be, we did get it to go. So that would be an intervention, not a disengagement. But really, it should be able to just figure it out. It seems like there are some times, especially in these parallel parking spots, I've noticed it'll get kind of confused or it just kind of sits there and thinks, but doesn't ever actually go. So it just needs to make a decision. Lots of Amazon delivery trucks out here. All right, so this one looks like we might have to deal with this Amazon delivery person a little bit. Yeah, well, that was fine. So in this case, it's going to nose in again. Now, I don't know. It needs to back up now to get closer to the curb. Oh, okay. So I don't think that was nearly as good. It's a little bit further away from the curb, and I don't know that we actually gave. Well, we did sort of give space there, but we're too far to the left. It's hard to see from this view, but we are too far to the left, so too far away from the curb. So not a great job. Let's see. What did I do here? Oh, okay. So I'll stop and I'll say parking. Just wanted to report that. All right. And then next stop. Now this one is interesting because we need to see it needs to not park in the space right in front of this building. It needs to pick one of the parallel parking spots before we actually get to the location, or do a turnaround and go back to the other parallel parking spots, because there is an area that's a no parking zone at the end of this street, which it has often decided to do that. So the location, and then it also thinks on the navigation. Yeah, it was slowing for her. She looked like she kind of wanted to go, and then it was slowing for her. So very courteous. She kind of was like, could wait or not, either way. So that was no, but it did good with that pedestrian. But anyway, the navigation says that this street you can actually drive on around this location, but it's actually dead end here. So we need to make sure that it does not park in this dead end. And if it does, I will again report it. So we had to report that last one as a bad parking job. This one, it looks like they've got this blocked off here, so can't park right here, but we could park in this space. It doesn't appear to be doing so. We could park in this space, and it is. It is parking in this space. Great. And this is the first time it's actually doing a legit parallel parking job where it's backing in to the space instead of just pulling in. So we'll see if that results in it getting closer to the curb. It does appear to. Yes. All right, so this, okay, as long as it stops, that was actually a very good parking job. That was a very good parallel parking job. We're well within the front, the back, and we're close to the curb. So perfect. Now, we just got to see for this next location, which is actually it's actually a charger, but again on a parallel parking spot. Oh man, yeah. I'm glad it decided to. Oh, what is it doing? Is it just reparking? Oh, that's no good. We're just reparking. Why did it repark? And it got rid of my next location. So, yeah, that's no good. No, I want to go to this other spot. I'm going to go ahead and let this person. Well, let's just go ahead and see what it does here. All right, it seems to be confused. I'm not really sure what it's trying to do. We should be trying to get out of the space here. Now there's a car approaching. Okay. All right, let's just get out of the space. Good. We got out. All right, so what are we going to do? Because we got to actually wait for this person to do their 3-point turn before we do ours. Good job. All right. So I don't know what the hesitancy was to get out of that space. It seemed a little bit confused. And that's what I'm talking about. When it's in parallel parking spots, it sometimes gets confused and doesn't know what to do. But this is the spot where it needs to make sure it doesn't park because it's a no parking zone, fire lane. And looks like we did a nice, clean 3-point turn there. So good to go. All right. So this next spot here is a parallel parking spot again, and it needs to park on the side of the street with a charger, but we already know that from my past tests, if it's not a Tesla supercharger, it basically does not let you park at the charger. It will say charger on a Tesla destination charger. This one is not a Tesla brand, so it will give you the option to park at a charger for those, but for a non-Tesla charger, there's no option for that selection. All right, this job actually not as good, and we pulled in. So we're a good 1.5 feet off of the curb there. So that's too far. So I'm going to go ahead and just say parking and report that. So I'm trying to report all of these parking situations, which honestly is the most frequent disengagement I have. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually back into this space here a little bit. That car behind us is not an EV, so I don't know why they're parking here, but whatever. All right, so just go ahead and manually park it there. All right, so that's it for this one. I just wanted to test the parallel parking, and it does seem to be still very hit and miss. A lot of times it does not get close enough to the curb, or it has this weird hesitation where it just can't decide whether it's going to go in or out of the space. And that last time it just reparked itself, and we were still far from the destination. I mean, it's not like it was too far to walk, but obviously I was actually wanting to go to a charging spot, which it again doesn't have the choice for. So I guess it is what it is. But anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.